The Tigers lose 2 of 3 to the New York Yankees after J.D. Martinez's performance on Sunday. The celebration of the 1995 Cleveland Indians was rained on by the Tampa Bay Rays in rays of wins for the Rays. But they lose, and the Indians lose 2 of 3 to the Rays. Mad Max gets almost a perfect game. And go USA and go Team Canada. And the Mudhens this close to a sweep of the Norfolk Tides, which would have been their first sweep of the year. And now they hit the road to take on the Durham Bulls, while the Tigers hit the road to take on the Cleveland Indians. It's going to be an interesting show. It's a Monday edition of All Andy Alfred. You know what that means? A lot to get into. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we start All Andy Alfred.
I've been listening to you, watching the same games you've been watching, but I have the nerve to say what's on my mind. It's time to listen. It's time to learn. It's time for All Andy Alfred. Starting now.
Oh, no. No. A-Rod gets his 3,000. Good theme song.
Yankees, we love the Yankees. We're really proud of our Yankees, and we want to win today. 2, 3, 4, hit, run,
Oh.
when you powder the ball.
Yeah, enough of that.
Indians. And the Mudhens take 3 of 4 over Norfolk. But Team USA kicks off tonight against Colombia. Very interesting game in the Women's World Cup. Hello, you guys, and welcome to All Andy Alfred right here on your exclusive home for me, Clay Fan, the production of Clay Fan 2-3. I'm your host, Andy Alfred, welcoming you into the Man Cave Studios and welcoming you into another edition of All Andy Alfred. We're coming to you live from the studios here in Toledo, Ohio. And by the way, Buenos Dias, Mexico. I'll make mention of that in just a little bit. But Buenos Dias in Mexico. And hello in Sweden, of course, as well, too. But we're going to recap this weekend that was in the world of sports. Of course, the U.S. Open, Jordan Spieth. We'll talk about that as well, too. We'll also talk about the new jacket hired today for assistant coach. We'll also dive into the Women's World Cup. And it's Monday, so it's time to dig in to the Mudhen batting averages. We'll talk about that as well, too. But let's first and foremost start off with Major League Baseball. 2 of 3 in New York. We lost 2 of 3 in New York. We give A-Rod
his 3,000th hit. And it was a home run off of Justin Verlander. Oh, it was so brutal. His first hit and his first at-bat, home run. And the guy who caught the home run isn't going to give up the ball. I say, good job. An asterisk player like that does not deserve to have the home run ball that he is hitting. Especially with it being A-Rod. As the Yankees were a winner in Game 1 of the series, 7-2. Warren gets the win. He goes to 5-4 with a 3.62 ERA. Justin Verlander gets his first loss. Coming back, he's 0-1 with a 6.17 ERA. Gardner, his 7th. Gregorius, his 3rd. And A-Rod, his 13th of the year. For the Tigers in this game, Cabby having a good game for the Yankees. But Verlander going 6 2/3, 10 hits, 6 runs, all 6 earned, 3 home runs given up, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. His ERA is 6.7 ERA. For the Yankees, Warren got the win. He went 8 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned, 7 strikeouts. For the Tigers in that game. For the Yankees in that game in Game 1. And then in Game 2, it just got silly. It got silly for the Tigers. Of course, the Tigers losing 14-3, getting at least tripled up on them. Quadrupled up almost on them. As Simon gets the loss, he goes to 7-4 with a 3.29 ERA. Evaldi gets the win, he goes to 6-2 with a 4.95 ERA. Mitchell gets his first save of the season. Home runs for the Yankees, Gregorius, Young, Beltran, and A-Rod, his 14th of the year. For Alfredo Simon in the game for Detroit, Simon went 2 2/3, 8 hits, 7 earned. Not going to help anything. 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, 2 home runs. The bullpen was depleted in this game. Kroll in an inning and a third pitch, 5 hits, 3 runs, all 3 earned. Granzani, 1 inning, 3 hits, 3 earned. Albuquerque was the only bright spot in 1 inning, pitched 2 strikeouts and 1 walk. John Wilson, 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 run earned, and 1 strikeout. That's the Tigers losing to the Yankees 14-3 in Game 2 of the series. Time of the game, 3 hours and 24 minutes, 48,092 in attendance for Game 2. And then yesterday, J.D. Martinez on Father's Day. 3 home run game for him. Unbelievable to see this kid who played with Toledo a few years ago going out and having a breakout game. He having a tremendous game as the Tigers win 12-4. Anibal Sanchez gets the win. He goes down to 6-7 with a 4.59 ERA. Masahiro Tanaka is now 4-3 with a loss. He goes to 3.17 ERA. Andrew Romine homer. J.D. Martinez, his 14th, 15th, and 16th of the season. And Victor Martinez, his 2nd of the season. McCann, his 10th for the Yankees. Drew had 2 in the game, his 10th and 11th of the season. For the Yankees, Tanaka went 5 innings pitched, 10 hits, 7 runs, 5 of them earned, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, and 3 home runs. Barara was next out of the pen for the Yankees. He went 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 4 earned, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 1 home run. His ERA is now a 54. For the Detroit Tigers in this game, Anibal Sanchez went a total of 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned in the game, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and 2 home runs. Hardy went an inning pitch, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Soria went 1 inning, 1 pitch, 1 hit, 1 run. That run was earned and was a home run in the game. Time of the game yesterday at Yankee Stadium on Father's Day, 3 hours and a minute, 38,691 in attendance for that game. So the Tigers losing 2-3 to the New York Yankees. They now continue on the road trip as they go into Cleveland next, and we'll preview that. We'll preview those games coming up here in a second. And let's talk about the Tribe. couldn't get anything going. Identical scores on both Friday and Saturday as they both lost 4-1. In Game 1 on Friday, Kearns gets the win for Tampa. He now goes to 4-3 with a 5.34 ERA. Carlos Carrasco gets the loss. He goes now to 8-6 with a 4.35 ERA. Boxberger gets his 17th save of the season for Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay homers in the game. It was Cabrera, his 4th, Butler, his 6th, and Sorcia Jr., his 14th of the season. The final line, the Tampa Bay Rays had 4 runs on 11 hits, 1 error. The Indians had 1 run on 7 hits and no errors in the game. For the Tribe, Carrasco went 6 2/3, 10 hits, 3 earned, all 3 runs, and 3 of them earned, 5 strikeouts, 2 home runs. For the Rays in the game, Kearns went 5 1/3, 6 hits, 1 run. That run was earned, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts in a game that took a total of 3 hours and 1 minute, 22,811 in attendance for Game 1 of the series. And then only Game 2 of the series, the Indians, my apologies, took on the Rays, and again it was a 4-1 final. Sereno getting the win. He goes to 1-0 with a 3.44 ERA. Corey Kluber gets the loss. He goes now to 3-9 with a 3.65 ERA. Boxberger his 18th save of the season. Evan Longoria his 17th of the year. For Kluber in this game, Kluber went a total of 7 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, all 4 earned, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts, and 1 home run in the game. For Tampa Bay, with Sereno going, well, it was Ramirez getting the start. He went at 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 3 strikeouts, with now an ERA of a 4.23 ERA. Sereno went an inning pitch, 1 walk, 1 strikeouts, but mostly the bullpen helped them out as the Indians getting a loss in Game 2 of the series on the celebration of the 1995 American League champion team. And then Sunday, what a performance by Allen. What a performance by Allen. Shutting out the Rays 1-0. He gets the win. He goes now to 1-2 with a 3.90 ERA. Jempson gets the loss. He goes now to 1-5 with a 2.70 ERA. No home runs hit in the game yesterday. And Allen had a perfect game and a no-hitter going into the 7th. The final line, Tampa Bay, no runs on 7 hits. And Cleveland had 1 run on 3 hits, and that came in the bottom of the 9th inning to win it for them. Anderson, 7 2/3, 6 hits, no runs earned, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts in the game. And they had a pretty good game going on. For Jensen went a total of 7. Well, Cologne got the start. He went 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Jensen had, like I said, had a perfect game going. Cologne had a perfect game going, and the Rays had a good game going until Johnson came in 2/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned, the 1 run, 1 walk in the game. So now the Indians will take on these Detroit Tigers in a pivotal 3-game series starting tonight at Progressive Field. Other scores that happened yesterday around the major leagues, it was Baltimore a 13-9 victor over Toronto. Cincinnati a 5-2 win over the Miami Marlins. Of course, Pittsburgh getting the loss 9-2 to Washington. And we'll talk about Mad Max right now. Wasn't that a beautiful outing by Max Scherzer? You Tiger fans miss him? Because I know I do. Going the distance in the game. Getting almost a perfect game. Almost a no-hitter in the game against a good Pittsburgh team that's above 500. He was dialed in. He was dialed into the game. He had Verlander velocity. He really did. He had Verlander velocity in the game. And the whole Tabata situation, I think Tabata didn't lean into it. I think Scherzer lost handle of that slider and went up and into the zone, and that's what caused Tabata to get hit. The Washington Nationals winning on Saturday's game. Philadelphia was a winner 9-2 over St. Louis on Sunday afternoon. Boston a 13-2 victory over Kansas City. The Cubbies an 8-0 victory over the Minnesota Twins. The White Sox in extra innings winning against Texas 3-2. Gordon Beckham the game-winning home run in the 11th inning. Oakland a 3-2 win over the LA Angels of Anaheim. Houston 6-2 over the Seattle Mariners. Milwaukee losing to Colorado 10-4. San Diego losing to Arizona 7-2. The Mets were a loser to the Atlanta Braves 1-0, and the Dodgers putting up a 10-2 win over the San Francisco Giants. Now tonight, the start of a pivotal 3-game series between the Detroit Tigers and the Cleveland Indians. It will be Ryan on the hill. His ERA is a 3.26 ERA. Trevor Bauer will start for the Cleveland Indians. He is 3-6 with a 3.22 ERA. 7:10 start time on Fox Sports Detroit or on Fox Sports Time. The game's happening tonight. Philadelphia is in New York. That's a 7:05 start time for that. Tampa Bay hosting the Toronto Blue Jays. At 8:05 over on the north side, the Dodgers taking on the Cubbies. The White Sox are in Minnesota tonight. 8:10 start time for that one. 10:05 start time tonight. It'll be Houston versus LA. And 10:10, Kansas City is on the West Coast. They'll take on the Seattle Mariners. And looking at the standings going forward into tonight's games and how it broke down for this weekend with the Tigers losing 2 of 3 and the Tribe losing 2 of 3. Here's the standings as of right now. Detroit is still in third place with a record of 35-34, 5.5 games out of first place. Cleveland is in fourth. They're 32-36, 8 games out of first place. The White Sox in dead last at 30-38, 10 games out of first place. Minnesota, 3.5 games out of first place. They're 37-32, 3.5 games out of first place. Kansas City is 39-27 in first place in the American League Central. Tampa Bay with the 2-3 victory over the 2-3 out of Cleveland are now 40-31 in first place in the AL East. The Yankees are 1 game behind them. They're 38-31 in the National League Central. St. Louis is 45-24. Pittsburgh is in second place. They're 39-36 games out of first place. The Chicago Cubs are 37-37 games out of first place, and the Cincinnati Reds are in fourth. They're 32-36, 12.5 games out of first place. Milwaukee in dead last at 25-46, 21 games out of first place. So a big pivotal series for the Detroit Tigers against the Cleveland Indians starting tonight at 7:05 at Progressive Field. It's probably going to get delayed because of the bad weather that we are getting here in Toledo. Of course, it's probably going to be hitting Cleveland as well. We are not going to be headed to Cleveland. I repeat again, we are not headed to Cleveland tomorrow. We will do a live show here at the studios. Tomorrow it will be David Price, 6-2 with a 2.50 ERA. He will take on Danny Salazar, who's 6-2 with a 3.56 ERA, 7:10 start time for that one. And then on Wednesday, the concluding game of the series, we will have a post-game edition of the show on Wednesday afternoon, evening. 12:10 start time for that one. It'll be Justin Verlander, 0-1 with a 6.17 ERA. He'll take on Carlos Carrasco, who is 8-6 with a 4.35 ERA. So we'll keep you posted on those games, especially tomorrow and Wednesday's games. And as like I mentioned, Wednesday we will do a show after the Detroit Tiger Cleveland Indian game. So, did anybody see that the Mud Hens almost swept Norfolk? Did anybody see that they looked pathetic in Game 4 of the series against Norfolk? Who here believes that Larry Parrish should be fired from the managerial job of the Toledo Mud Hens? And I second that motion. You're aware the Mud Hens took on the Norfolk Tides in a 4-game series. starting last night. Starting on Thursday, they got the win in Game 1 and come from behind fashion. And then Friday night, the Mud Hens getting another victory in front of a good crowd on hand at Fifth Third Field. As I pull it all up right now. Alright, previous day. There it is. On the 19th, the Mud Hens getting a 3-1 victory. Belfiore gets the win. He goes to 3-7 with a 5.90 ERA. Gambota gets the loss. He goes to 4-5 with a 3.44 ERA. Cabrera, his ninth save of the season. As the Mud Hens getting a 3-1 victory for them in that game. And then the next night, the Mud Hens again in front of a sellout crowd at Fifth Third Field, getting a 4-2 victory. Melville getting the win. He goes to 3-6 with a 5.49 ERA. Wright gets the loss. He goes to 0-1 with a 12 ERA. Bruce Rondon, his first save of the season. And then yesterday, the Mud Hens losing to Norfolk in the series, but taking 3 of 4 against the Norfolk Tides as the Mud Hens lose 5-3. Jones gets the win. He goes to 4-4 with a 2.38 ERA. Green gets the loss. He goes to 0-1 with a 3.18 ERA. Bastido gets his fourth save of the season. Stephen Moya homered his 6th of the year, and Alvarez for Norfolk homered his 11th of the season. So looking at the standings going forward into tonight's games, the Mud Hens are still in last place. They are 31-40, 11.5 games out. Louisville's 34-36, 8 games out. Columbus is 39-20, 32, 3.5 games out of first place, while Indianapolis runs away right now with a record of 42-28. The Mud Hens now take on the Durham Bulls, who are in second place, 2 games behind the Charlotte Knights for first place in the International League. And tonight for the Mud Hens, looking at the starting rotation for the Mud Hens tonight, on the hill will be Buck Farmer, who is 6-2 with a 3.56 ERA. He'll take on Tensford for Durham, who is 4-5 with a 5.63 ERA. 7:05 start time for that one. That'll be actually on Tuesday. On Wednesday, it'll be Thad Weber on the hill at 1:05. He's 4-3 with a 3.77 ERA. He'll take on Florio, who's 7-5 with a 3.93 ERA. And then the concluding game on Thursday will be Belfiore, 3-7 with a 5.90 ERA, taking on Diamond, who's 7-3 with a 3.14 ERA. Before the Mud Hens head over to Norfolk, Virginia, to take on the Tides on a weekend series. It's Monday, so it's time for the top 5 and bottom 5. Presented by Dr. Zuhari and Fisher's office in Rossford, Ohio. See Dr. Z for all your dental needs on Dixie Highway in Rossford, Ohio. Set an appointment today by calling 419-696-3327 or Dr. Zuhari and Fisher's office.com. You fix my smile, you fix yours at the same time. And they are the proud sponsor of the top 5, bottom 5. Since you have top 5 teeth and bottom 5 teeth, of course. Alright, let's take a look at this. Xavier Avery's leading it right now. He's batting a .292. No home runs, 23 RBIs. He's only struck out 56 times this year. Looking at walks now, 13 walks for Avery. Josh Wilson in second. He's batting a .291 with no home runs, 10 ribbies, 28 strikeouts, 11 walks. Dixon Machado batting a .290 right now. He's got 4 homers, 30 RBIs, 44 strikeouts, and 21 walks. Corey Jones is batting a .280 right now. 1 home run, 14 RBIs, 18 strikeouts, and 9 walks. His on-base percentage is a .337. Wade Gaynor, .261, no home runs, 4 RBIs, 4 strikeouts, no walks. Jeffrey Marte, .258, 8 home runs, 42 driven in, 40 strikeouts, 20 walks on the season. Brendan Harris, .256, no home runs, 4 RBIs, 5 strikeouts, 6 walks. Manny Pena batting a .250 right now. He's got 1 home run and 17 driven in, 12 strikeouts, and 11 walks. His on-base percentage is a .339. Stephen Moya batting a .243 right now with 6 dingers and 35 ribbies, 72 strikeouts, 16 walks. That's not a great ratio. 76 to 72 to 16. Tyler Collins, who is now back with the Mud Hens, is batting a .242, no home runs, 9 ribbies, 26 strikeouts, 16 walks. Daniel Fields, .238, 3 home runs, 22 RBIs. The worst. Brian Holiday, .230, 1 home run, 9 driven in, 15 strikeouts, 3 walks. Jordan Leonardson's batting a .226, which is almost his weight. 1 home run, 17 driven in, 37 strikeouts, 20 walks. Mike Hessman, .217. 217. 8 dingers, 30 RBIs, 51 strikeouts, 37. But he's not the worst. Jeff McMahon, .203. No home runs, 4 driven in, 16 strikeouts, 6 walks in the game. Gotta pick it up. Gotta pick it up. Buck Farmer leading in the pitching count. He's 6-2 with a 3.56 ERA. Belfiore is one of the worst, 3-7 with a 5.9 ERA. Thad Weber 4-3 with a 3.77 ERA. Tim Melville 3-6 with a 5.49 ERA. Kyle Ryan, who was with the Mud Hens, who's with the Tigers now, is 0-5 with a 4.67 ERA. So we'll see what happens with the Mud Hens this week against Durham, and then Norfolk before returning home to take on Durham the following weekend. So the Women's World Cup is going on right now, as you're watching All Andy Alfred right here on ClayFan23, presented by CarryTheFifthLine.tumblr.com for all your Blue Jacket information. And Sunday and Saturday started up the round of 16 in the elimination games. Germany a 4-1 win over Sweden. China a 1-0 victory over Cameroon. And then on Sunday, one of the big upsets of the series, Australia a 1-0 win over Brazil, and Mara is gone. Mara is gone. It's interesting. France a 3-0 win over South Korea. Canada, the host country, getting a 1-0 victory over Switzerland. And today in action right now is England versus Norway. England up 2-1 at the 83rd minute on Norway. Tonight at 8 o'clock, Team USA takes on Colombia. On tomorrow's games, it'll be Japan versus the Netherlands at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. So we'll see what happens after this first round of 16, who the USA will play. And Colombia's a very good team. They are a very good team. They've been talking a lot of smack, though. So I hope Abby Wambach and Rampur are ready for this. But I really don't want Hope Solo behind the pipes for Team USA. Looking at the NHL situation right now, as we are in draft week. Yes, we're in NHL draft week. But first, before we get into that, the U.S. Open. Jordan Spieth. I just feel bad for Dustin Johnson. A 3-putt to end. And Tiger not making the cut. Tiger not making the cut. He looked as bad as I did out on the golf course. Tiger not making the cut. Jordan Spieth winning the 115th U.S. Open. Dustin Johnson this close to forcing a playoff of 18 the next day. He 3-putts to end it. It was brutal to watch that. And I'll say this: Fox did a good job in coverage, but I wouldn't put all your eggs in the basket, Fox, for that. Joe Buck doing golf, really? You couldn't get anybody else good like Jack Nicklaus? or a solid announcer, but you went with Joe Buck. As we'll put Aikman right there. Congratulations to Jordan Spieth. Next big golfing event for me, of course, besides me playing, is the Marathon Classic that's happening in July. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But I want to make mention of this before I continue on. It is draft week in the NHL. Latest cover of the NHL Hockey News magazine looks like this. Jack Eichel is going to be your new face in Buffalo, folks. The ultimate rankings. We'll talk about this on Friday's edition of All Andy Alfred. We're doing two versions of the show. We'll do the NHL preview edition, the draft preview edition, Friday's edition, of course, and we'll also do our regular usual show on Friday. And then Monday's edition of All Andy Alfred will be the post-draft show, as well as the regular show, of course, as well, too. But Wednesday night is the NHL Awards, 7 o'clock on NBCSN. Look forward to seeing what's going to happen with that. But Canada has a new GM for the World Cup, and Armstrong has been named the new captain to lead as the new general manager for Team Canada in the 2016 World Cup that will be happening next year. To see what happens with that. But also I want to make mention of this because the Blue Jackets did make some news over the weekend. The new coach has been announced. Let's see if I can pull it up here. There it is. New assistant coach for our Columbus Blue Jackets is Kenny McDivitt. He is now the new assistant coach for our Columbus Blue Jackets. He joins the ranking with Todd Richards and his staff. Kenny comes over from the AHL. He's a Chicago native who originally joined the Chicago Wolves, spending 3 seasons with the club team from 94 to 97, then returning prior to the 2002-2003 season he led. He is part of the qualifying former International League Turner Cup playoffs 3 times in the AHL Calder Cup playoffs. On 6 occasions, he has helped the Wolves advance to the 2005 Calder Cup final and capturing the Calder Cup in 2008. Devin has worked with numerous NHL players and instructed at prospects camps for the Colorado Avalanche, St. Louis Blues, and the former Atlanta Thrashers, as well as the OHL, Sudbury Wolves, and the Ontario Association. He was skating and skills coach for the U.S. Women's National Team in 11 to 14. His stint with Team USA serving as scout for the Silver Medal Squad in 2014. So, Kenny McCudden is now the new assistant coach for our Columbus Blue Jackets. Is it October yet? I'm just waiting for Friday. The new season starts. Thursday is the NBA draft. We're not going to talk about that. But I want to make mention of this before I continue on this. And first of all, I want to say hello to Mexico and hello to Luis from Mexico. He is watching us on Friday's edition of All Andy Alfred. I hope you are a regular now viewer of our program. We'll do a live show tomorrow, remember. Do a live show on Tuesdays and also on Friday's edition of All Andy Alfred. The show will be live, but the draft show will be taped. I want to make mention of this because it was brought to my attention. Taylor Swift going after Apple, and Apple agreeing with her. You know, I like Taylor Swift. I like her music. But if she can make Apple crumble, and not strudel over the situation, what's to say another big artist? Let's say Jason Derulo or a Metallica or Avenged Sevenfold, or hell, even Fifth Harmony, that says, "Oh, we're sick and tired of it too. We want royalties too." It's like giving her a gun, pulling the trigger. I cannot stand her. I'm sorry. Because she came out with a song called Bad Blood. It was a call-out song to Katy Perry. And I love Madonna. I love Madonna's response to that. It's like, I'm Madonna. B-word, I'm Madonna. Love it. It has all the anti-Taylor Swift people. So I'll say it. Bitch, I'm Madonna. I support you, Madonna. I support everybody that's against Taylor Swift. Makes us as single guys have to work a ton more on the situation to find the right one. Because we're not potions and crap. And we're not, oh, we'll play teardrops on my guitar. You can't stand her. Somebody needs to wreck that chick. Just saying. That's going to wrap it up for all Andy Alfred today. That was Andy Rants, by the way. I love it. That's going to wrap it up for all Andy Alfred today. Tomorrow's edition, of course, will be the live show. We'll break down what happened tonight at Progressive Field, as well as what's happening in Durham, North Carolina, and dive a little bit more into what's happening in the world of sports. But that's going to wrap it up for all Andy Alfred. And remember, go Tigers! Go Tribe! Let's go Hens! And we are the fifth line. And go USA! Excluding Hope Solo. That's going to wrap it up for all Andy Alfred. And as always, pulling for you. We're all in this together. Game of life. And to the teams behind me. And to your team at home as well. Victory is sweetest when you have tasted defeat. Have a good evening, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow for a live edition of All Andy Alfred. Love you, babe. Stay safe out in these severe storms. Guys, I love you, babe, and I love you guys.